two amazing women as guests, Monica Challingsworth Lyons and Darlene Erich, a mother-daughter duo who are just amazingly powerful on lots of fronts. Monica carries 15 years of experience in hospitality, leadership, and sales. Darlene is an incredible advisor and mentor with over 25 years in business and healthcare. And they have their company, Eustress and Demeter. We're going to get into what that does, is a boutique branding and development firm that focuses on the hospitality, luxury, and travel sectors, and they're doing amazing work in a lot of different ways. We're going to talk about their leadership style. We're going to talk about their kind of the foundation for the start of the company and how they make such a huge impact with their customers and the world at large. And the statement that you guys are making on so many fronts is so powerful. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
We always start with by just asking our guests to define success in your words. So if you guys wouldn't mind kind of setting the stage by how you look at success.
I think success is, it's a very personal thing. I think to me specifically, I feel successful when I know that I can give back. And whether that's just spending quality time with a girlfriend I haven't seen in a while and being able to buy her coffee or a glass of wine or dinner, and knowing that she doesn't have to worry about anything, that I can take care of her, that we can enjoy that together. When I think about my future goals, about being able to have a big, beautiful kitchen, to have everybody over so I can have, whether it's a chef or myself or somebody, just being there to wine and dine them and have a safe place where they can be. So when I think about success, it's just being able to be the person that I want to be for the people that I love the most.
It's beautiful.
Yes, very well.
Yeah, what would you add to that, or anything?
So I 100% agree with Monica. I also think that success is defined for me as just being true to yourself. And we go through, so many of us go through life just doing what other people's expectations are of us, whether it's how we were raised or our significant others or just our friends, on feeling like we don't want to disappoint them, but yet we're never really like listening to ourselves and being true to ourselves. So I think as long as you're true to yourself, you follow your intuition and you follow your own path, then you're successful no matter how much money you make.
It's beautiful. So I also always like to follow that up, like, were you guys born this way, or was this idea of success, how did you get there?
I learned it from her, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember, like, what was that? How did that kind of...
Just growing up and watching how hard she worked and how strong of a mom she was, and all of the, seeing that from a role model perspective and the things that she taught me. I mean, gosh, I remember being a kid and they always asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would say, I wanted to be a teacher. And they'd be like, okay, great. Well, we'll get you some, then I would read her college books of like learning that. And she would walk me through the things that she learned in class that day. Or then I would say, I want to be an astronaut. They said, great, okay, well, let's go and check out like the Space Center, or go to Florida, or go do all of these things, that no matter what it was that I said I wanted to do, my parents were so supportive to say, wonderful, we'll figure that out, we'll get you there, and we believe in you no matter what. And watching her and what she's done and the way that she supported us and my brother and myself, I give everything to watching her and what she gave to us as we were growing up.
That's amazing. And can we, because I think this is really powerful, to realize that leadership is something that often gets disguised as a very hard road.
Absolutely. And and it's interesting too, because my story is actually opposite, on being raised on you're not smart enough. How are you going to get through school? How are you going to go to college? You can't even get through school. Like, you're never going to make it. It's not going to work. And then getting married young, and then always being told, no, you can't do it. It was, you're raised where they want you to go to school, but they don't want you to take the time away from them to study. And so that always kind of went against my values, on always being told of what the expectations were for myself, and so internally I always like fought against it, a little bit of a rebel as a child. And then when I had them, very young, and not being a college graduate at the time, I'm just like really knowing that you can do whatever you want to do and never let anybody tell you any different.
So I love that, and I think we hear that, but can you share just a little, can you paint the picture a little bit of exactly what that looked like? You have 2 kids, you then decide, can you share a little bit of that journey for deciding then what you were gonna do for yourself as a single mom?
Yeah, so having the 2 kids, and at the time I was married, so I got married at 18, had my son at 19, had Monica at 21, and I was working, just kind of part-time jobs when their dad would, get home and then I would go into work. And I remember cleaning for Goodwill. So the Goodwill that collects all your used things. And so we lived in raised them in a very small town in Pennsylvania, like 10,000 people. And I was working for Goodwill, cleaning houses and offices, and I recall just feeling after some situations that had happened, just even with offices, big offices I were cleaning on, feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like I'm, and I would think to myself, just because I don't have a college degree doesn't mean that I'm stupid. And so as they were started in school, I started back just kind of plucking away, trying to get my nursing degree. And I just took a class here, took a class there, because I was still raising the kids. We built a house, was working full time, and I would have to drive an hour and a half to get to school every day. And so I took 5 years and got my associate in nursing degree, and then started working in the intensive care unit. And around that time, I was in my 30s, and then continued to pluck away. Like a year after getting my bachelor's, because I wanted to be a school nurse, because I love kids and I love teaching. And ended up in a bad car accident about a year before I was to graduate with my bachelor's. And that really distraught me, because when I was getting my associate degree, 2 of my good friends were both in a car accident on our way to school, and they died. And so I was like, what am I doing? I'm gonna kill myself on these winter roads in Pennsylvania, and for what? So I can have a bachelor's degree, and that I'm not gonna be here anymore to raise my children. So I just started working, and then working in the intensive care unit and just focusing on, my nursing. So then I ended up getting divorced and moved to Pittsburgh so that I could have a better opportunity and career. Finally went back to school, put my son through college. She was at 15, Monica was 15 at the time, and I started plucking away again, finishing my bachelor's. So that took me, I think 3 more years, because I finished my BSN, was working as a nurse full time, raising Monica, and then ended up getting a school nurse certification. And about the time I finished, I ended up moving out to Salt Lake City and had no need for my school nurse certification because it's 1 nurse to 3,000 children. But I had worked myself up from doing 15 years of a bedside nurse to moving into a director of the ICU.
I so appreciate just sharing the kind of the picture, because I think a lot of us, it's important to realize it wasn't this is doable, even with kids at home and a full-time job, and but it might not happen in a year.
Right.
There has to be this perseverance and this staying power. I just really admire that about you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I kept saying to myself, when you're going to graduate when you're 35, and I thought, I'm going to be 35 regardless. So I can either be 35 and have a degree, or I can be 35 and still working part-time, or making minimum wage.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think that's an amazing just lesson right there. Thanks. We could be we just wrap that up. That's just such a good life lesson. So thank you.
Yeah, and I have one comment to make on that. My other than my mother, my strongest mentor, her name's Helen Lau, and she owns Clear Path Recruiting, and we had put on our first women's mastermind group, and it was hosted at Helen's home. And the thing that she just really hit home to all of us was, you don't have to pick. You can be a mom, you can have a very successful career, you can do whatever you want, and you shouldn't have to pick a lane. And I think that's so important, because I think women feel a lot of the time is that you have to, and that's not the case, because we're very powerful and we can do so much. And watching, just for myself in my mid-30s, now the people that I look up to the most, I mean, both of them have done this beautifully, and it's such an inspiration.